Super. So, Claire, you've just completed the NLP practitioner course and you've got timeline therapy to come. I just asked you a question and you started going into some really interesting stuff. So, I thought, let's pause and get a testimonial whilst you're coming out with all of these experiences that you had as you went through the course. So, do you want to start then with like how are you feeling after going through the NLP practitioner and any tips or advice you've got for anyone who may be thinking about it but are not quite sure yet?
Yes, absolutely. So I joined the NLP course because I wanted to work on myself personally. Um, I am 46 now, and I discovered by pure chance at 41 that I'd experienced a lot of childhood trauma, and it was just about the way that we were brought up and the way that my mum was quite narcissistic, and I was not worthy of very much, if anything at all. So from being about 41, I'd done some psychodynamic therapy to kind of establish that, yeah, I didn't have a problem. It wasn't me. And this is not normal behavior, but this is obviously going through those experiences. And that was incredibly hard. And I didn't actually get everything out of it that I needed. And it wasn't cheap. And then I did some healing therapy, which made me build it made me more accountable for myself, and it built up my self-worth, but there was still certain things missing. I noticed that lots of my adult behavior and managing a team and dealing with people that were difficult was there was a gap because I didn't actually know how to deal with that. I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't know how to do that. So I've joined the course, and I have to say that I've come out of this a completely different person. It's like the icing on the cake for the whole kind of reconditioning and rewiring of your brain structure. And it's so easy how if something goes wrong, I would naturally be blaming myself because it's the easiest route and it's the most common route. And I feel like I've just, it's really hard to admit, but when you feel like you've been brainwashed for like the majority of your life, to actually then admit there's a problem and deal with that and then try and rewire yourself, it's quite a difficult thing to do. From the course I've got a whole set of tools and a whole new skill set. And I've realized that I've got strengths in things I never would have considered doing if I wasn't given the opportunity to do the course. It's also really helped me in my role at work because I can coach the people that work for me under different scenarios. One of them's not very confident, and the other one's a little bit too confident. And then it's also given me that acknowledgement that I am a good manager and I can do this. And there's been some managerial restructures on the back of what I've learned about myself, how I'm only, how my managing style is, how I want my management style to be. And now, like, my team has changed for the better because of how I want it to be. So that's like really, it's been absolutely massive. Um, I tell you, the biggest thing for me that I took away was learning how to process. So I just ruminated over everything. And if I felt out of control, I felt panicked. And I didn't actually know what rumination meant until I started doing this course. And now, like the amount of work that I've done, and on the back of this, I do journaling as well, and I have exercises in place to help me with processing stuff properly. Like if somebody says something to me that I'm not quite sure how to take, or I don't necessarily blame myself for everything anymore. And I definitely, there's lots of things that we've done in classes that I'm a bit like, there's no way this is going to work. And it's really worked without having to think it's worked. Like you naturally change the way that you view people and situations you're in and scenarios. And yeah, it's been incredible. And I'm really hoping that the timeline therapy is the cherry on the top. And I'm hoping that that will finalize my journey. And I I have people that I want to work with just as a like a human being to share my experience. I don't want to take it into something I want to do for a business, but there are people I know that would benefit just from learning some of these techniques. And I think people sometimes are a bit, well, the course is a lot of money, and I don't know if I want to do that because I'm not really going to have my own business, but it was the best money I've ever spent and the best thing I've ever done because it was exactly what I needed without knowing I needed it. And it
Mm.
just made me a whole person, you
Oh, I
know?
love that.
And it's brought so many opportunities on the back of it that I never would have envisaged at 46 going into. So it's been incredible. Thank you. And you've been an absolute, like, amazing instructor. You're an amazing person, to be fair. And there's a hell of a lot that's changed since, I've met you and worked with you. And yeah, it's definitely, I would recommend it to everybody because it's a life investment. And even if you're a little bit skeptical, it still works, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah, oh, I've got goosebumps. Thank you so much, Claire, for sharing that.
You're very welcome.